Yeah, we have a very special guest today. Could you do me a favor and introduce yourself, G?
What up? What up? Drunken chef in the
Yes,
house.
sir. Yes, sir. Much love. Appreciate you jumping on, G. And
Appreciate you having me.
what I want to do today is just talk about a lot about cooking, right? Because I've noticed that there's a lot of homies who find themselves like, I don't know if it's a relaxation thing or what it is, but there's something where homies they tend to move in that direction. A lot of homies do. A
Yeah.
lot of people that I've interviewed, my boy Potro, homie Diablo, another homie, he does barbecuing. It's like it's crazy. It's just like you see so many homies moving in that direction. What do you think it is that moves people in that direction, like
Uh,
cooking?
I think for me, like it's been a passion for years, but it's more therapy, I guess, for me. I have a full-time job, so when I come home, it's like to unwind. I'll pop open a drink, and then I'll just go in the kitchen and start creating things. You know what I mean? So it's more about therapy and trying to get your mind off the daily routine. For me, with the cooking, is it's also like I said, creating stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And it's a trip because a lot of what we do as a species is similar to other animals, right? Like a lot of what we do. The only thing I think that's different is the fact that we wear clothes and we cook.
right,
Other than that, everything else is pretty much the same,
right,
right?
right.
So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, cooking is a very human thing, right? And
right.
what I trip out on is the fact that it could the cooking portion is it could be like you could find like it could be solitude, right? Like it could be just you by yourself, right?
Right.
But the eating, it just seems like that's more inclusive. Why do you think that is?
I think food brings people together. I think food is just something that everybody can enjoy. So, like in my videos and things that I do, I bring the family in for the taste testing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
They're not so much part of the cooking process, but to have them come in and be able to taste the things that you created and then get their feedback, it's awesome. So it just brings people together, whether it's your family, your friends, your neighbors, anybody. You know what I mean? Everybody likes to eat, so and we all have to eat to survive.
Yeah, it's a trip, man. So when you do the taste test, when you first started cooking, did you do the taste test also? Like, hey, check this out. Were you excited about it, or was it more like you eating it and figuring it out?
When well, I started the YouTube or the cooking and recording 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Before that, like I would do barbecues and people would hit me up, hey, you want to grill? And I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. Just hook it up with a drink and some food. That's kind of how I ate back then.
Yeah.
So I would be the one at the grill and I would be picking at the food. Now that I do the videos and things like, it just started for fun. I wasn't even really planning to do this whole thing. It was like, let me do a video, see how it turns out. We did the taste test, but like I used my cell phone and I had a sideways angle, and yeah, for me. It was like all bad. I was looking
Yeah.
like I was run down and tired, but things progressed and stuff. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, sir. So when you're in the kitchen, you're creating, right?
right.
Um, did you start at a young age or did you start at an older age?
Cooking was older, but when I was younger, my mom used to be in the kitchen all the time. You got the Mexican family, you got the mom in the kitchen, pops is out there chilling. They both worked. And so I used to be in the kitchen with her just watching. Didn't really help her too much, but just kind of watched, learned, look at all the different things that she would create.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where it all comes from my mom, because even to this day, she still cooks. She still makes foods and, all kinds of things. So
That's what's up, man. So did you ever have any bad experiences? Like you tried something, you thought it was gonna be bomb, and then like, ah, hell nah, this shit ain't working.
Oh yeah, it happens to this day, man. Even today,
Well,
I did a top sirloin, and I actually did a video for a friend of mine because he has some product as well. But I put that on there, and it was some sirloin. Actually, it was a top sirloin roll. I had two of them. Put them on there. Got to sipping a little bit. Kind of forgot about them. I sat on the couch watching TV, and I was like, "Ah, snap the food!" So I jumped out there, and it was dry. It was yeah, it was charred. It was just all bad.
Because like the way you describe it, it's like an art project, right?
Yeah,
You have to be invested. You have to like be in there in the moment. It's not one of those things where you could just be like, ah, fuck it, I'll just put it in the oven and come back to it.
right, right. I get to get when I get home. Well, I kind of think about things I want to cook beforehand, and then also I'll do some research and stuff, and kind of come up with my own little twist to it. And
Yeah,
then once I get in the kitchen, then I'm like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. This is where this is what I want. Hopefully, it comes out. And after a few drinks, that kind of changes as it goes.
yeah,
Hence the name Drunken. So it kind of changes, but I mean, a lot of times you come up with stuff when you're not really thinking about it.
yeah.
You can brainstorm all you want, but then in the moment, like you say, it's art. It's creating just flavors. You got to know how to put flavors together. You know what I mean? Because some things don't go with others.
Yes, sir. So a little bit more of a controversial question
Oh,
here.
here it
So
comes.
on the movie Donnie Brasco, you ever seen that movie?
Yeah,
They're in the kitchen cooking, right?
yeah,
And then Lefty Two Gun says something that I tripped out on. He says all the best cooks in the world are men. He said, you go to Mars, the best cook there will be a man. And I think with a lot of cultures, it does seem like the females cook from a place of love,
yeah.
which is dope. And it's like they cook it from your for the people they love their taste, right? So like that's
Right,
why you
right,
always hear people say, "My mom is the best cook" or whatever, right? Because she's
right,
cooking it for you. She's cooking it the
right.
way you like it. But when it comes to like the more famous chefs, they do tend to be men. Why do you think that is?
As men, we just take pride in everything that we do. You know what I mean? We have that strong pride, so we want to make sure that it's going to be the best thing ever for anybody. So
Yeah.
that way, because your name is on that, you know what I mean? And we're big prideful people, so I think that's where that comes from.
Yeah, that probably could be because like you got a mom, she's cooking for her kids. So it's like
Right?
she don't go fuck with people 2 blocks down are gonna think about it, right?
Yeah.
But it's like if you're cooking, you want that shit to be the best. That could be. Now, that's a trip. Not that there aren't good female chefs. I'm sure that there are
Oh,
incredible female chefs.
right.
No, but it just for some reason it just seems like the majority of famous chefs are men, and it probably does have to do with that pride factor.
Yeah, it's a big pride thing. That's what I think.
Yes, sir. So let's go ahead and get into your channel. G, tell us a little bit about your channel.
So the channel, Drunken Chef Barbecue. Like I said, I just started just trying something new. Didn't really plan to go anywhere with it. Um, we moved out to Arizona a couple of years ago, and this is when I was able to actually get a grill, like a grilled charcoal grill. And
Yeah.
then, I know that they have a lot of barbecue spots out here, so I was like, well, barbecue. I like barbecue, so let me try that. And so went out looking for a smoker. Got a little hybrid where it has half propane, half charcoal, and then threw a smoker box on there. And just started making videos. Just started doing different foods. And as time went on, I started recording more and more. And it started out with the whole therapy thing, and then it became fun because I love to cook, I love to grill, I love to smoke foods and come up with things. So we created the Drunken Chef Barbecue channel, and just kind of went from there. I think we have like over 100 videos now
Oh,
in the
dope.
last 2 years. Shorts, long videos. Some of them are 30-minute videos in the beginning to 10-minute videos now.
And
Um,
the ones I mainly see are mainly in the kitchen, right?
Well, it starts off in the kitchen for the preparation process.
Yeah.
So anything that we're marinating, we're seasoning up, maybe sauces that we're making, it all starts in the kitchen. And then from there, I'll take it out to the grill, and then
Check
show
it
you
out.
what we're doing on the grill. And then that's when we come back to the kitchen and do the tasting.
That's dope. That's dope. How did you come up with that? Like, because a lot of people would say, "Fuck," a lot of people would be like, "Fuck that shit. I'm gonna do everything out here," right? But what made you say, "No, I have to be patient with this. I have to, really respect this."
Um, I don't know. I just something, the passion I have, it just having to it's a process, man, because going from one scene to the next scene to the next scene. I mean, there's multiple takes in this. Sometimes you're fumbling words, and I'm just like, I'm actually going to come out with some blooper reels soon,
Oh,
because I have
dope.
so
Dope.
many of those, so you guys can see like it's not all perfect making these videos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot of editing, a lot of hours in the process. My wife does a lot of editing now because we have so many videos that we're trying to put out. But it's just, I don't know. It's hard to even explain that, like.
Yeah, because easily you can cut corners. A lot of people do that. They're gonna cut
Yeah,
corners. They're gonna say, "Fuck it, we'll just do everything out here," but that could kind of fuck up the cooking because it's not part of the way you normally would do it, right?
right, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so getting back to that, outside we have a lot of wind and things that and a lot of background noise. So that's part of it. Why I do a lot of it in the inside, especially with the prep part. I can close all the windows. But if you listen to some of the videos when I'm outside, you'll hear a car drive by. You'll hear the kids freaking yelling down the corner.
Go bumping shit up.
You have the airplane drive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and sometimes I have to wait for the plane to go by to go ahead and do that. So I mean, we could be out there for a minute, but it's
Damn.
just I just end up popping open another beer and just be like, all right, we're just gonna wait.
How do you since you're outside, right? During those cooking portions, how do
Yeah.
you plan that out? Because I would assume you only have so much time to cook.
Yes, especially after getting out of work in the day. I can get home at 3 in the afternoon and it's dark by 5:30 now. So I have a lot of the prep is done prior. Like let's say we're gonna do some kebabs. My wife will prep all the kebabs. She'll put 4 or 5 of them together, and then I'll do one just for the video purpose to show how people do it,
Ah,
how
interesting.
we do it. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll head outside because we got an hour of light or whatever, depending on what we're cooking.
Yeah.
For some of the bigger stuff like ribs and brisket and tri-tips, things like that, I'll wait till the weekend to do that.
Okay. You have more time.
Yes.
Do you ever cook like 3 or 4 things to make 3 or 4 videos in a day, or is it normally one per day?
We're actually in the process of doing that right now as we speak. We have something coming up for the holidays, so we're doing multiple videos. We've already done, let's see, I think we're on our 6th one today, and that's been in a week. In this
Okay.
last week, we've done 6 of them, and normally it's 1 or 2 a week.
Oh, okay. That'll work. And since it gets dark early and you have to go outside, how are you stressed out about the takes, or are you pretty like comfortable with it
No,
now?
stressed out, brother.
Yeah, because you
I'd
only
be
got
like,
like that limited time too, so it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
shit.
yeah. So the I look at the clouds that are coming in, I look at the light going away, and then here comes the headlamp. Here comes the ring lights.
Yeah,
I got the tripods out there. I got things like that. You know what I mean? And just trying to get all the light I can. I don't do too much of recording of myself in the dark. It's more just having the headlamp and being able to see the food. So that way, that's what people want to see is the food. So
yeah.
they ain't trying to look at me.
And so let's talk about that too. Then I do want to bring that up because I think it's
Okay.
important for anyone who's starting a YouTube channel, chasing their passion, or Twitch or whatever they do. Right? You said you started off with the phone, right? A
Yes.
little phone.
Yes.
Um, what made you want to upgrade, and what steps was it that took you to upgrade from then to where you are now, where you have the setup where you can actually move it, you can go different places like that, and the sound quality and everything's still good.
The steps, it's really actually, I'm still using the cell phone. I have a Samsung Galaxy 9 and the pixelation on that. And I mean, you see the videos, it's great.
Yeah,
We added another phone, which is our business line, where we get the actual food shots where when I'm recording.
yeah.
So I have one on me, one on the food. So we got 2 tripods that are working. And then the lighting is pretty much the house lighting. We have ceiling lights, so we have a bunch of them.
Kitchens are always really nicely lit too.
Yeah,
So
especially the newer ones. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So and I seen the videos in your kitchen. It's lit pretty nice.
yeah. We
You
have
you got some really good lighting.
we have those ceiling, the ones that are in the ceiling.
Yeah.
It's a new build, so they have all the new technology stuff. We have the ceiling. I think we have like maybe 6 to 8 of them
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll work. Yeah. And I love that you do that. You don't have you use the phones and you do it in a way that it looks professional. It really looks professional. It's like, oh shit, I thought you
Thank
were
you.
using cameras for real.
Oh, no,
Um,
thanks. Appreciate
and
that.
what's the trip though is it shows this is something that I tell people too, that are thinking about starting is just go with what you have and make the
Yeah.
best of it. Make the best of that. So you're able to take these phones and make it look really professional. And a good thing for people who want to do stuff like that, I have an Apple phone, I have a iPhone, but Samsung is probably the way to go because you can
Samsung, yeah.
drag those fucking files out easily. You
Yeah.
don't need to set up a fucking account or none of that shit. Like you could drag those files out easily, put it in the computer, and edit that shit.
I actually just took out about 25 videos and put them on my laptop right before we started because I needed more space on my phone.
I'm telling you, so fucking easy. That's the only. I wish I should. Nah, I like my phone, but a Samsung especially for
Yeah.
filming, that's the way to fucking go, man. For real.
Yeah. For those that want to start, like you're saying, start out with what you have, work with that. They have numerous video apps that you can use to edit. You can cut and paste and, make the transitions. You can add little effects to it. So they have a bunch of different ones on there.
Yes,
So
sir.
you can make it look professional,
And I want to talk about your seasoning, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, you'll see it right here on the screen here. So what are these? Could you explain these seasonings?
So these seasonings came about, before I had these seasonings, I would be in the stores looking at every single seasoning or rub that there was in the store, and looking at the prices. And as prices of things go up, I'm like, man, this is getting too much for me. Let's create our own.
Hmm.
And so I looked at a lot of the basis of every single one, and then came up with the original one called SPG. It's a kosher salt, pepper, and garlic blend.
Okay.
And it took us probably about 3 months to figure out the ratio that we wanted, and that's what we have now with that one. That's the one that started maybe 6 to 8 months ago that kicked it off. And
Dope.
then we decided to come up with something that has a little spice to it because we like to eat a lot of spicy foods. That's
Yeah.
coming from the Mexican background. That's what we eat, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Gotta have that spice. So we ended up adding the jalapeno to it, and we do that here at home. We get the jalapenos and we dehydrate them ourselves, put in all that work and combine them and came up with a ratio. I think that one was a little bit faster coming up with than the original. And then we have the habanero, which is actually fairly new. I'd say 3 weeks or so new.
Oh, dope.
We went up with a hotter, something more hotter, because I know I have a lot of friends that like really spicy, and so they're like, hey, come up with something that's more than that. They felt like the jalapeno wasn't hot enough for them, so I was like, all right, give me some time, and we'll figure it out. And that's how we do the habanero.
Are they for sale?
Yes, they are for sale. You can, if you want to get yours, you can email us. I don't have a website right now. We're still in the process of trying to figure out how to do that. But you can email us at drunkenchefbbq@gmail.com, and then we'll get your order, get your your address and all that, and give you the price info, all that kind of stuff.
Dope. So I'm gonna have to ask you another controversial question here, G. So as a barbecuer, right?
Yeah.
Some people say that they shit on gas guys, right? And then some people are like, nah, it's not even charcoal. They like wood. Is there a specific for you specific thing that you don't like certain barbecue and you won't try, or is it all just different?
I actually have all three of those that you just mentioned. I have the propane, the charcoal, and I got the smoker box to add the wood.
Yeah.
My preference would be charcoal. So I do a lot of things with the charcoal because you get that charcoal smoke flavor. But then for like longer cooks, briskets and ribs, that's when I'll use the hardwoods. When I use a lot of hickory wood.
Yeah.
For propane's pretty much for me is the lazy way. And no disrespect to those who do use propane. It's just you get the gas flavor. You kind of taste the propane when you're cooking food.
Ah, interesting.
So And that's just something I'll throw the propane on if it's a late night, like we were talking about the whole timing thing with the dark and all that.
Yeah.
I'll just throw the propane on and then put the food over to one side and let the burner be on the other side and just let it do its thing. So that's pretty much me. I like the charcoal flavor.
That'll work. Yeah. And
Yes, sir.
so I understand you have something coming up for Christmas. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, we have. I was mentioning all the videos that we're recording. We have 6 of them. We're actually going to be doing the 12 days of grillness. So
Ah,
starting on Tuesday, I believe it's the 14th, we're coming out with day one video. So 12 days after that, all the way until Christmas, we're going to have a video come out every day for that. So it's all for Christmas. 12 days of grillness. Check it out. Subscribe. Tune in.
yes, sir. And
Support the show.
12 days of grillness coming to you guys.
Yes, sir. So
And I also want to talk about the future of the channel. Where do you see the channel going?
the future of the channel, hopefully it grows to become way more than what it is. There's so many channels out there. There's a lot of competition. So it's just, I have to keep coming out with that content and chiming in with other people and trying to get them to notice us. The real ultimate goal is to get a food truck,
Dope.
and to be mobile so that we can start setting up spots somewhere around, kind of like the movie Chef.
Yeah.
Have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
That's a dope movie. That's a dope movie. I like being able to just go somewhere, pop up, feed the people, see the smiles and things like that. That's the ultimate goal. So hopefully the channel helps to bring us
Dope.
more views and things, so people start to notice us.
And as a Chicano YouTuber and cooking channel, is it two different genres? I mean, there's two different genres you're trying to bring in. Is it two different genres that you have to not really compete but go up against?
What do you mean?
So like I'll give you an example, right?
Yeah.
And it's just an example here. So let's say for me, I'm considered, I don't even know why, because I don't talk about prison, but I'm considered a prison channel, right?
Okay.
So that's who everybody right there who watches me probably watches other like quote unquote prison channels, right?
Right.
But for you, your subscriber base, is it mainly like Chicano based, or is it also uh cooking channel based? And how do you merge the two?
Actually, most of our subscribers are from the Chicano background, the Mexican background, which are a lot of the YouTube channels that you and I both watch.
Yeah.
And so there are some that come from the barbecue background, but not as many as I would hope for. I mean, I appreciate all our subscribers, and I want us, even our people, to see, hey, you know what, you guys can do something and grow and become something
Definitely.
if you really put your mind to it. You know what I mean? But with the barbecue world as well, that's going to help to grow our restaurant or our chefing, so to speak.
Yeah. And the only reason I bring that up is because it does seem like it's a little bit more difficult for us as Chicanos,
Yeah.
because we back each other. Like, don't get me wrong.
Right.
Like, even though I'm in the,
Oh yeah.
I consider myself a Chicano channel more than a prison channel, but like when it comes to like demographics and shit, they'll say prison channel, right? But I consider myself more of a Chicano channel. But I'm not exclusive to just Chicanos, right? Like
Right.
I'm about growth and change.
That's right.
But it does show that our people, like Chicanos, back me. And Chicanos,
Right.
you know, they got our backs and shit. And it is dope, but it is kind of crazy because it seems like for some reason there's a lot of other people out there. For you, it's the barbecue world. They should be embracing you also. So hopefully they will. Hopefully it's just about getting you out there more and more.
Yeah, hopefully they will. I'm sure they come to the channel, pop in, and be like, "Oh, look at this guy" or something, and that's fine. That it always happens that way. You look at somebody and it's like, "Oh, no, I'm good." But I'm still gonna push. I'm still gonna grind,
Right.
no matter what. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna make it here. I got to. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I got a family. We came out here with goals, and so far all the goals that we set when we first came out to Arizona, we have accomplished. So now we're moving on to our next ones. You know what I mean? So
Dope. And you mentioned your wife is behind the scenes.
yes,
How
she's
important is that?
that is very important. She does a lot of the brainstorming, a lot of the prep work while I'm at work. We collaborate together with different ideas of foods and things like that. She comes up with different pricings and different things like that. So she's pretty much the rock of the whole thing. You know, I could say that if it wasn't for her and keeping me grounded, we probably wouldn't have been where we're at today. You know what I mean?
That's what's up, man.
Shout out to Mrs. Chef for that.
Much love to Miss Chef. Yes, sir. And so I want to ask about your inspiration. I know you said your jefita was one of your major inspirations when it comes to cooking. Is there anybody else that you saw like, whoa, shit, like that's pretty dope? Or was there anybody really caught your eye in the cooking world?
Growing up, we used to watch Emerald Lagasse a lot. Bam, Mr. Bam himself. You know what I mean? I used to watch him a lot. I don't know if you ever saw a show called Yan Can Cook. It's an old Asian dude. It's an old thing. I can't even remember when it was. Probably 90s sometime. It was this Asian guy that used to do a lot of different cooking stuff. And I used to watch him when I was younger. And then we had the Rachel Rays. I used to watch her with her 30-minute video or meals. Watch a lot of the Food Network channel. A lot of any cooking channel there is, even on like Netflix or whatever, anything that has to do with food, I'm watching.
Do you think some of those that go like over the top? Like, come on, man, that's not the way you would like.
Yeah, I think it's there's a lot of people that'll do it just to get the ratings, and that's fine. That's their thing. You know what I mean? It helps the network. So
yeah. I did see that, and I tripped out on that because I was like, you really have to have that much of a attitude and shit when you're cooking. Like, no, a lot of that shit just seems like for show. But like you said, it's TV. They need to make it interesting.
Yeah, they have to make it interesting. Otherwise, people are not going to watch. You got to have that drama aspect to it.
Nuts, man. And before we wrap it up, is there anything else you wanted to add?
We actually have a Facebook and an Instagram. You guys want to check out. It's at DrunkenChefBBQ on Instagram, and then it's just DrunkenChefBBQ on Facebook. Those are some of the other socials that we have. I think I'm more active on Instagram. I look through a lot of stuff than the Facebook, but my wife takes care of mostly all that. I'm doing all the YouTube stuff. So
yeah.
Other than that, that's what we got.
And I'll put the links in the description below.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. So I appreciate you chopping it up with us today, G.
Hey, I appreciate you having me on. It was a little nerve-wracking in the beginning. I was like, all right, let's see what's up. I watch your show all the time, so you know what I mean? I'm at work and I'm listening in when you're on lives and during the day. So I like what you do. So keep it up, man.
I appreciate what you're doing, Gino. I hope you are able to continue to grow. And you know, like fucking, we need a Chicano face out there, man. Like
appreciate it.
The cooking world, man. So I'm rooting for you, G. We got your back.
Cheers, man. Appreciate that.
Yes, sir. So much love to all my Y babies. Much love to the nasty crew. And with that, we out. Peace.